8 fighter jets forced to land. No missiles, no dogfights. Western air supremacy shattered overnight. Within 7 days, Russia compelled 8 NATO jets down without firing a single shot. There were no explosions, no blaring alarms, just sudden, unexplained losses of control on some of the West's most advanced aircraft. The Pentagon was left speechless. American leaders watched in shock, and even Donald Trump raged, calling it a national humiliation. For decades, the West claimed the skies belonged to them. That illusion collapsed instantly. Russia's move exposed a vulnerability NATO and its allies never wanted to admit, breaking the myth of aerial invincibility and raising the stakes for global security. If we ignore this new reality, we risk misjudging who truly controls the skies and what that means for world power, national defense, and the next chapter of warfare. Let's examine exactly what happened and why it changes everything. How did Russia achieve this without a single shot fired? The answer lies in shadowy advances in electronic warfare. Routine patrols spiraled into chaos for Western pilots. But what exactly provoked Russia's shocking answer? It began quietly, with NATO reconnaissance flights nearly brushing against Russian borders. Patrol and surveillance runs became relentless over the Black Sea, the Baltic, and near Kaliningrad. Western fighters shadowed drones perilously close, pushing Russia's patience and testing its airspace defenses. Then, the sky itself seemed to rebel. Pilots experienced bizarre system failures, vanishing contact with command, abrupt leaps in altitude, and eerie silence from their radars. Fear and confusion spread through the cockpits as instruments flickered and died. No missiles streaked through the air, no dogfights shattered the silence. Instead, Russia unleashed a new kind of weapon: advanced, integrated electronic warfare. Invisible waves scrambled, jammed, and overtook the most sophisticated Western avionics. In only 1 week, 8 NATO jets were grounded, dead in the sky, controls frozen, cockpits plunged into darkness. This was no accident. It was a calculated show of force. Russia sent a message to the world, and directly to the Pentagon. Supremacy is no longer measured by missiles, but by mastery of the invisible battle space. Ignore this, and you misunderstand the very future of global power. But the true shock was yet to come. What technology did Russia unveil that left Western leaders reeling? The answer lies in the details of Russia's electronic arsenal, systems far more advanced than anyone expected. Only now is the West beginning to grasp the scope of this new threat. Picture this. You are flying high above the earth, and suddenly your jet's controls freeze. Every dial goes dead. The cockpit air thickens with dread. It feels as if invisible hands have seized your aircraft, and you are just a passenger now. This is not a nightmare. This is what unfolded for NATO pilots during a single harrowing week. Russia revealed a new kind of weapon, not missiles, but microchips, activating a layered electronic warfare assault. First, GPS signals were jammed. Then, navigation was spoofed. Finally, the jet's very brains, their avionics, were hijacked. In those 7 days, 8 NATO fighter jets, American, German, and Polish, were forced to make emergency landings. Some touched down in neutral territories, others limped into Eastern Europe. The pilots all described the same horror. Their jets simply stopped responding, as if remote hands had taken the yoke. This was no random glitch. It was a calculated show of electronic dominance, achieved without a single missile. NATO officials whispered of disaster. In Washington, experts faced a grim reality. America's most advanced jets had been rendered powerless by Russian interference. No fireballs, no wreckage, just a silent, invisible hand. For decades, the West trusted in technological superiority. In 1 week, that faith was shattered. Russia proved that brute force is obsolete. To win, you only need to blind and disarm your enemy before the first shot. NATO's reputation is now under siege. The prestige of the United States as a technological leader is in doubt. Every forced landing is not just lost machinery. It is a blow to the alliance's credibility and collective security. Now, strategists from Brussels to Washington are racing to understand what happened and how to prevent it next time. If the world's best jets can be hijacked mid-air, what does that mean for the future of war? The rules have changed. The whole world is watching. But how exactly did Russia pull this off? To understand, we need to look inside the cockpit and inside the code. If 8 NATO jets can be grounded in just 7 days, what could a month bring? The unthinkable now shadows every war room, and the panic behind closed doors is hard to hide. Inside NATO headquarters, chaos reigns. Teams are tearing through every route, frequency, and protocol, hunting for flaws before another incident strikes. No one can guarantee the next flight will return under its own control. Across Eastern Europe, Russia's new electronic field generators have rewritten the rules. These are not mere jammers. They cast silent domes stretching hundreds of kilometers, trapping anything that dares to fly through. Pilots now trade bravado for dread. Western aviators, once so sure of their superiority, are haunted by the knowledge that control can vanish in a heartbeat. Every mission is a gamble, every takeoff laced with uncertainty. Even the media treads softly. Gone are the days of boasting. Now, only subtle nods to Russia's extraordinary capabilities slip through, while the real story is etched in grounded jets and tense command centers. This is more than a tactical shock. It is a psychological earthquake. The myth of Western air invincibility has collapsed. For generals, it is a line in the sand. Adapt or risk irrelevance in this new era of electronic warfare. Yet denial is the most dangerous enemy. If leaders hesitate to face the truth, morale will crumble further, and each day may bring another headline of lost control, lost reputation, and shifting power. Now, as the world watches, NATO's leaders face a grim choice: adapt to the new threat, or risk falling further behind. The next move could change the balance of power for years to come. The sky is no longer ruled by the largest arsenal. Now, the smartest system wins. Air dominance is shifting, fast. In just 1 week, Russia's electronic warfare quietly forced 8 NATO jets to land, without firing a single shot. This was not about more missiles, but about sharper algorithms and absolute control of the electromagnetic spectrum. What truly unsettles the West is not only the technical defeat, but Moscow's composed response. Russia issued a clinical, almost cold statement. No threats, no boasting, just a calm confirmation under international law. That silent confidence stings deeper than any boast. True power does not need to shout. Western officials scramble, blaming technical glitches or rare malfunctions. Yet, as evidence mounts of a coordinated electronic attack, those excuses unravel. The new reality is clear. Innovation, faster, smarter, more adaptive, can topple even the most established military order overnight. Clinging to old doctrines now means risking more than embarrassment. Ignore these shifts, and nations may lose relevance. Underestimate them, and security itself is at stake. In this era, it is not arsenal size, but system sharpness and adaptability that command the skies. The world is watching, and the rules of power are being rewritten in real time. What comes next will test both resolve and imagination. The new laws of the sky are no longer written in jet trails. They are encoded with every silent command. Last week shattered decades of certainty. 8 NATO fighters, the pride of Western arsenals, were not shot down. They were grounded by invisible signals. Russian electronic warfare took hold, seizing control from afar and forcing pilots to land. No missiles, no dogfights, just raw digital power. The message is seismic. For generations, strength was counted in bombs and steel. Now, supremacy belongs to those who can blind, disrupt, or hijack enemy machines at the speed of thought. In 7 days, the myth of Western invulnerability was undone by code, splintering the illusion that hardware alone could guarantee safety. Every nation must confront a new fear. Wars may now be won, or lost, by the invisible hands on a keyboard. The ability to paralyze cockpits, turn radars to static, or rewrite a jet's mission in midair is the new currency of dominance. Moscow did not just show off new weapons, it quietly erased the old rules. If you believe your safety rests on legacy firepower, think again. Security, alliances, even personal safety now hinge on whose algorithms reign supreme. Status, trust, and balance can vanish in seconds, rewritten by signals from across the horizon. This is not just NATO's problem. It is a wake-up call for the world. Only those who adapt, invest, and innovate in digital defense will shape what comes next. Ignore the shift and risk irrelevance, no matter how loud your arsenal roars. Now, as silence falls, we must all consider. In an era ruled by silent commands, what does power truly mean, and who truly holds it?